Welcome to the Boxing Bookie. We are back. It is good to be back. Oh, baby, are the Brooklyn Nets back? They are back. The Brooklyn Nets are back. They don't have to decide whether they're drafting Ace or Cooper because they're going to get both. Because they're going to draft number 1 with the Knicks pick, and then they're going to draft number 2 with their own pick. Oh, baby, the Nets are back. All right, y'all. I got a good one for you today. We got some good stuff for you today. I want to get into a bunch of stuff. We got some fights on losing my brain. On tomorrow, Raekwon Williams, Lavasius Williams. That's not going to get confusing at all. Eddie Vasquez and Kenneth Taylor, Jerry Forrest, Earl Newman. We got some interesting fights to get into. I'm a little bit shocked right now looking at this. What up, y'all? Come on in. A little bit later start. I wanted to watch the Knicks get boat raced by the Celtics. I don't even like the Celtics, but the Knicks, I own the Knicks pick until 2031, so I need them to do a lot of losing. We got some good fights. I'm going to get into them tomorrow. The Mecca box, Madison Square Garden. Oh man, I got a cough. Hang on. I am bugging here. What up, Cedric? What are you going to talk about the Metcalf versus Machida? You want to talk about that? Yeah, we can talk about that. We got a line on it. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. So Sharita Metcalf, that's my girl. I know her well. I've covered her for years. She's from Dallas. Good friend of mine. She's excellent people. Really good people. Good, tight with her, tight with her trainer. Just really good people in Team Metcalf. I like Metcalf. She's long. She's rangy. She's difficult. She beat Yoshida back last fall, we'll call it, in New York City. I was at that fight. The homeboy, Jamel Herring fought on it. He fought out. Nick Molina knocked him out with a body shot in the first round. Sharita Metcalf is now 39. Chicken, as she's known. She's taking on Yoshida, 17-4. Metcalf beat her. Controversial decision. It was a 50-50 type fight in which the judges all went extremely wide for, well, one had it 96-94. John Mackey had it 96-94. So the one experienced judge had it close for Chicken. The other two less experienced judges, Marcel Varela had it 99-91, which is outrageous. Georgie Gregov had it 98-92 for Metcalf. Those were a little way too wide. Mackey had a reasonable card. It was a very, very close fight. A lot of people, if not most people, thought Yoshida won the fight. So it made the scorecards really, really interesting. Prior to that, another fight I was at that was in Dallas. Yeah, I've been at Metcalf's at least her last 4 fights. Been a lot of her fights recently. She fought Melissa Odessa Parker, also on an Eddie Vasquez card. She eked out a decision. David Ikabuchi scored at 76-76, but was overruled by Hector Gonzalez and Manuel Chopper. So, look, my point is she's got something. This is like twofold. She's got something that the judges like. I was at the Odessa Parker fight, and Lou DiBella was there. Lou DiBella thought it was a crime in Italy that Odessa Parker lost to Chicken. I didn't see it. I thought it was very, very close again. I thought probably Melissa Odessa Parker probably edged her. It was super close. The Yoshida fight was super close, and she's getting all of these decisions. That means there's something about her stylistically, what she does in the ring, that the judges like. Two sets of judges, two different states, two different commissions, like two different everything. Both of them gave her the decision. She's got a win over Leanne Calderon, and then she's got the loss to Danielle Bennett, which is very, very close back in 2022, in May of 2022. I was at that fight. I was at the Karen Doolin fight. I've been at most of these fights. Britain Hart, I was at. That was, I think, right before the pandemic. I was at that fight. I've been at most of these fights. I've been to most of her fights. Yeah, I've been to most of them. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Hang on real quick. Is it doing this? All right. Got y'all. All right. Oh, what up, Nate? Nate, you want to join me and talk about the Knicks? Nate, with the top 2 picks in the draft, Nate comes on my basketball podcast all the time. So the Nets draft Cooper with the Knicks pick at number 1 and Bailey at number 2, or should they draft Bailey at number 1 with the Knicks pick and Cooper at number 2 with their pick? Let me know what the Nets should do with the top 2 picks in the draft. It's not that I'm a Mikal Bridges hater. I like Mikal Bridges. I just want you to acknowledge they get the point guard. Yeah, I agree. Let's get the 2 Rutgers players. Let's get Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey from Rutgers. We can keep them in the metro area. Go for the 2 guys in Rutgers. That's what my Nets are going to do. I like the way Nate thinks. My Nets are now loaded. My Nets are back, baby. The Nets are back. Oh, it does when you're the Nets, baby. This is maybe the only day all season we have to cheer. At this rate, the Knicks ain't gonna have a postseason, so the regular season is all you got. All right, let me get back to this. My boy 23 is in the house. The homie 23 percentage that Regis Prograis wins. 45%. I would lean towards Catterall. It's very, very close. Like I said, the only bet I like is for this to go over 10.5. 23. I'm guessing you're a Bulls fan. I would say over. Take the over. But if you want a percentage chance, Regis is a guy that can pressure or can box from the outside. He can do both. He's not great at either. My guess is Catterall can outbox him from the outside, so he's going to want to pressure and get in. He's also 36 now or something like that. You can see how old is Prograis. I think he's 36, might be 35. He's aging and he's slowing. He's still decent, and I think Catterall's a bit overrated. That Catterall's bad. Yeah, Regis is 35. So I want to share this with you. Oh, then I want to get back to the Schroeder Metcalf fight. 35. You look at his last couple of fights. Haney lost every round. Zorrilla won in a fight that was, like, by the CompuStats, the worst title fight in the history of boxing. I was at that fight. I've had both these fights. Reach is my dude. I like Reach. I'm really good friends with the guys from Main Street Boxing in Houston. It's a team I'm very close with. I love Regis. He's a little shot, a little over the hill. I think though, he still may have enough in the gas tank to beat Catterall. I don't think that's out of the question. All I think if you put a gun in my head and said who wins, Catterall probably ekes out a decision. But if you wanted me to give you a percentage that Regis wins, I would say 45%. If I was making a book on this fight, I would have Catterall at like minus 150 and Regis at like plus 115. Is that percentage that Conceição wins? Are you asking me about Conceição? Is that who you're asking me about in the O'Shaquie Foster fight? Remember, same team. Another Houston guy, O'Shaquie Foster, same team. Bobby Benton, Aaron Navarro, same team. Conceição lost every single round in probably the worst decision ever in the whole history of boxing. And it wasn't, but it's on a short list. It's in the top 10 of the worst decisions in a title fight I've seen. I would say Conceição has a 15% chance of winning. I'd give maybe a little more than that. I'd say 20%. 20% chance Conceição has of beating O'Shaquie Foster. I would give O'Shaquie Foster an 80% chance of winning that fight. O'Shaquie Foster is just better. He's cleaner. He's crisper. He has a little bit of pop. He can dominate the fight from long range. I think he's going to get a little more aggressive, let his hands go a little bit. He's going to be upset. He's going to be bitter about that decision. He's not going to want to leave it in the judge's hands again. But you don't want to get reckless with Conceição. Conceição can hit, so I think he's going to pick up the pace a little bit. I think he's going to get in and out more as opposed to just standing on the outside and outboxing him. I think he's going to get in, land that hook, double up, throw the right hand behind it. He's going to do things like that. And I think he's going to win every round again, but he's going to punish him too as opposed to just outclassing him. But that decision back in July, which I was at the Newark, that was a travesty. That's right. The Knicks are on pace to do 0-82. Hey, Nate, are the Nets going to win in Atlanta? Are the Nets going to win in Atlanta tomorrow? Yeah, I think Foster's excellent. I think he should have did more, but he clearly still did enough to win. I think O'Shaquie Foster is a pound-for-pound talent. He had a hell of a story. He's had a hell of a life story. I'm glad to see him here. And then they robbed him of his title. Everything he's ever worked for in his whole life, they just took from him, just robbed him blind of it. And in that post-fight press conference, he's like, just tell me why. Like, why did you do this to me? Why? I don't bet on Jake Paul fights. I know for a fact his fight with Andre August was fixed. He was paid $300,000 to take a dive in the first round. It was $200 to take a dive in the second round and $100 to take a dive in the third round. So obviously he took the dive in the first round. So he got $300 for the fight and then another $300 on top of that. So he got $600K for that fight, half of which was to take a dive in the first round. I know this because his trainer, Justin Deshone, is a close friend of mine who I know quite well, who trains guys throughout the coastal bend there in Texas, Corpus and Houston and everything in between. And he trained Andre August for that fight, and he told me that. So that's how I know. Well, 30% means to tell me that if they fought 3 times, he wins once. And I don't think that. I think if they fought 5 times, O'Shaquie would win 4 of them. So that's how I got to 20%. If you said 30, I wouldn't say that's ridiculous. I just think O'Shaquie is a much better fighter, and I think we saw that in the first fight. Now, I'm obviously going to go back and watch that fight. It was an interesting fight. Again, O'Shaquie could have done more in the fight. For sure, he could have done more. But, he did what he did, and it was clearly enough to win. And the decision was a complete travesty. It was just horrible. So, it is what it is. Let me ask you this. 23. If you were handicapping the fight, how would you have this? How would you make the book on this? I'm gonna pull up the odds for this on you. Here's what Vegas has. Plus 290, minus 400. I think that's about right. I would have said about the same thing. So he wins 80% of the time. That's what they're telling me right here. At minus 400, they're telling you exactly what I told you. He's going to win 80% of the time. Like Vegas, I hadn't even checked this. And Vegas is telling me the same thing. If you, 23, do you think Conceição wins the fight? He's not going to go Mexican style. He's not going to go Triple G. He's not going to, you know what I'm saying? He's not going to go Beltran. He's not going to do that, right? He's going to pick up the pace. He's going to get in and out. We saw him do it, Rocky Hernandez. He's lightning fast. He's got a little bit of pop. I'm not saying he's got hammers in his hands, right? But he's not featherfist either. He's got pop. He can get in and out. He's going to pick up the pace. He's going to throw more. He's going to start to break him down. And he's not going to just box from the outside and just win the fight on the outside. He's going to get in and out on him. I'm not saying he's going to stand toe-to-toe and bang with him. Let me see this. 275, Jake Paul, perfect parlay piece with Raymond Ford and Keyshawn. Obviously, I think Raymond and Keyshawn are great bets. I don't touch Jake Paul fights, unfortunately, Junior Small. And I do agree with Junior Small. I do agree with that. And I agree with Foster. Foster is the best at 130. I certainly agree with that. Look, let's pull up O'Shaquie. Let me find him. Conceição clearly won that fight. Tony Lundy and Paul Walsh will be put in prison for what they did to O'Shaquie. He beat Abraham Nova, got in and out on him. Knocked out Eduardo Hernandez, got in and out on him. Ray Vargas was his masterpiece, right? That was his Picasso. That was such a beautiful performance. And so was the Yakubov fight. The Yakubov fight was in Abu Dhabi, I think. Something like that. Whatever. Dubai. It was over there in the Middle East. Those were his masterpieces. And he basically boxed those from the outside. But remember how tall Ray Vargas is. So he's still timing him getting in and out. Right? When he does that, Miguel Roman was at the wild card boxing. That was during the COVID thing when they were fighting outside. And then he fought Alberto Mercado in Terminal 5, New York. I don't even know what that is. Was this even on TV? It's on USA Fight Pass. All right. So I tell you all that to say that O'Shaquie isn't Arturo Gatti, but he's not Shakur Stevenson either. He's not Billy Joe Saunders either, right? He's a guy that can fight multiple ways. He can fight off the front foot. He can fight coming and going. Do you really feel this way, Jandro? Do you really think Conceição beat, like he won more rounds in that fight? Do you really think that? I haven't watched the fight since the day after the fight. I will watch it again. I was live at the fight, and I thought it was a travesty. I watched it again with my pop the next day. I thought it was a travesty. All right, man, you're entitled to that. You're certainly entitled to that. I didn't even think it was close. I thought Forster won 9 or 10 rounds in that fight. Probably 10 to 2, I thought was probably the right card. Like, if you think there's 2 judges agree with you, so I don't yeah, he's drinking something. I'm not trying to degrade you or put you down. How the hell did you see him that way? Like, how did you see it that way? So, Jandro, let me ask you this. Are you picking Yeah, everybody was shocked. Foster clearly won the fight. The referee was even shocked. Yeah, I want to get back to that, Walcott. So let me get back to what you had asked me previously, because I don't think I gave you an answer on the Metcalf fight, the Serena Metcalf fight. Let me get that pulled back up. So just so you guys know, I'll be taking Foster by decision, but we get to that when we get to that. We'll get to that next week. I want to look into this for you. This is a very tough fight to bet. The only bet I would like would be for the fight to go the distance. Since we don't have that, I hate this fight because I'm leaning towards Yoshida. Just a little bit towards Yoshida. But at minus 260, Metcalf is a steal. This is too wide. Metcalf won. But you see, this here shows that most people who watch the fight thinks Yoshida won. I thought it was very, very close. I thought Yoshida probably edged it, but I could see it going either way. The judges had it wide for Metcalf. 2 of the 3 had it extremely wide for Metcalf. Who's my girl? That's my dude right there. I love Serena Metcalf. She's great people. She could win. She's long. But so this is the people watching the fight. The bookmakers telling you they thought Yoshida won. I think Yoshida won. I thought it was very, very close. They're telling me she's clearly going to win. They're telling me she's going to win 2 out of 3 times. I think she's going to win. But at minus 260, Cedric, there's value there. So my instinct is to lay off this fight. I don't like Mia at plus 200. I'd be willing. Wait, I'm reading that backwards. What the hell am I saying? Oh, no. What am I saying? I flipped it in my brain. What do I like? I like Yoshida. Take Yoshida at plus 200. That's what I like. I'm reading that backwards. Take Yoshida. I read that backwards in my brain 5 times. Take Yoshida. I would bet Yoshida at plus 200. You're getting 2-1 that Yoshida wins. I would bet Yoshida. Told you guys Forster line was fishy prior to the fight. You did say that, didn't you? I remember you being in here saying that looked weird. It's Jersey. It's a mobbed up state. I guess we shouldn't be shocked, but I think you did say that. I vaguely remember this, Junior. I really do. Like, I'm not even capping. I remember you making some kind of comment that the line was fishy. I don't remember when I did that video, but I think I remember that. I like Yoshida. Cedric, I like Yoshida plus 200. And I'm going to give you all a parlay. You guys want a little parlay action? Let me calculate this for you. There you go. 3-pick parlay minus 294. Jerry Forrest, Eddie Vasquez, Mike-Quan Williams. Little minus 294 parlay. I would bet that. I would win. So, I'd bet 300 on that. Win a little over $100. Take the $100, put it on Yoshida, standalone bet, make my 200 there, walk away $300. That's what I would do. But if you guys want a little action, a little sexy parlay, take Forrest, Mike-Quan, and Eddie Vasquez. Forrest, Mike-Quan, Eddie Vasquez. I think that looks pretty good. I don't know anything about this fight. I'm not going to have any time to break down. If you guys have any questions or thoughts on that, you can let me know. So let me just recap this for you guys real quick. Jerry Forrest, do we have any props on this? Why can't we get props on this? And this is on DAZN, correct? Is this on DAZN tomorrow? Hang on one second. Give me one second. Is this? No, this is not on the. Wait. No, this isn't on DAZN tomorrow. Dang it. Why is it? So this is not. I can't watch this tomorrow? Now I'm pissed off. This is not on DAZN tomorrow. All right. So Forrest, Mike-Quan Williams, Eddie Vasquez. I like that as a little trifecta. I would put the money down on that. I would like that as a little three leg parlay. I would take that money that I win and put it on Yoshida. Let me check one thing real quick. Yeah, it's not giving me any lines for this. Last year it was on TV. Last year it was on. I went to it. I don't know what's up this year. I don't know. I don't know. David Morrell. I like Morrell. I think he's much more fundamentally sound. He's got a lot more power. He's got a better speed. He's a better boxer. Not to degrade Benavidez. But definitely at 168, I would have taken Morrell. 175, I think you're fighting more in the Benavidez' wheelhouse, but I would still take David Morrell at 175. I'm not pissed off that fight's not on DAZN. I am upset with that. Crawler, Boston, McGrail, Flint. I got that video out. Pat McCormick, Reese Bellotti. I guess we'll do this fight next, Bellotti and Gomez. I guess we'll do that. We'll get into that. I mean, I've been so wrong on Morrell. You know, the only guy I've been more wrong on than Morrell is Tim Tszyu. Every time I pick Tim Tszyu to lose, he's won. And every time I pick him to win, every time I pick Tszyu to win, he's lost. So Benavidez is one of those guys where I just see so many flaws and problems in him, but he's been able to figure it out. Morrell's so perfect. I don't hate that. It's a very close fight. I'm sure Benavidez would be a betting favorite. So Vegas would agree with you. My bad phone call. I watched the fight on a boxing team. Everyone agreed Conceição won. We did a round by round study the next day and picked through each round 7-5 Conceição. Where were you watching the fight with Conceição? Like his family? Were you watching it in Brazil with his parents? Who thought this, Alejandro? I'm not trying to be funny. Who thought Conceição won enough? Now there was a group of people who had a consensus that Conceição won that fight. Like I was at the fight, and we all went back to the interview section to go interview Foster. Like we weren't even listening to the scores. Someone came in and said Conceição won, and we started laughing. And he's like, "No, Conceição won." All right, like I didn't see that at all. That's how you scored it. That's how you scored it. But like now you're telling me there's like a consensus of people who had it this way. Morrell reminds me of Adonis Stevenson, but better athlete overall. That's interesting. All right. I mean, that's interesting. I think he's a better boxer, but okay. It's been a while since I've seen Adonis, but yeah, I don't. Okay. That's not a terrible comp. We're going to get into some of these. We got some fights. We got some action. I'm going to figure this out for y'all. Reese Bellotti and Michael Gomes. We might get into that one next. McGrail and Morris. There's a lot of one-sided fights in this. A lot of one-sided fights. We'll figure this all out. We'll get you guys a good lock. If you're in the Patreon, join the Patreon. If you're not joined the Patreon, come over to the Patreon. I'm gonna give you guys a lock. I'm gonna help you guys make a couple extra bucks this week because I missed last week. So I'm gonna put it in the chat as well. Join the Patreon, $5 a month to get lock of the week. This week you're gonna get 2 locks, and they're both gonna hit. So get the lock of the week here. I like this. The lock of the week. I got something for you guys tomorrow. I'm going to release for y'all. Yeah. Also, guys, head over to zero defense going back. I think that's a little unfair. I think he's a little bit more complete than what you're saying. I understand your point, but I think you're getting a little jumping the shark a little bit with zero defense going back with zero right hand. I don't. I'm gonna go watch the tape on him again. I'm not like. I don't know that I agree with that. I think you're getting a little carried away. Guys, go over to carnivorebar.com. Get the nutrition of a steak in the convenience of a bar. That's carnivorebar.com. That's carnivorebar.com. Use promo code BOXING at checkout to save 10%. It's nutrition of a steak, the convenience of a bar. It's on the move nutrition without compromise. That's carnivorebar.com. All you need to do is eat meat, and I really want to spread the carnivore community. I eat carnivore. I only eat meat. I don't eat any plants, just meat, meat, meat. I eat about 1.5 pounds of steak a day, or ground beef, depending on the day, and that's about it. So go over to carnivorebar.com. I love Morel. Oh, you're a Morel guy. I just think this is a little aggressive, though. I mean, I understand. I'm not saying your point is absurd, but I like zero defense. Like like he's Campbell Hatton going backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got zero right hand, so he's a one-fisted fighter. I mean, he's got lethal power in his left hand. I agree with that. Yeah, this I agree with. Morel can't adjust, but yeah, that's obvious. I mean, he's had so many blowout fights, so many easy wins. Like, let me pull up his box rec. Hang on. Like Becco, second round knockout. Falco, first round knockout. 12th round KO. 4th round knockout of Calvin Henderson. 4th round you know what I'm saying? He's had the first round knockout. He's had so many easy fights, so many easy wins. Like we never really saw that he couldn't adjust, that he couldn't adapt. And like that's a fair point. When we saw him push a little bit, he didn't respond exactly. He won the fight. Don't get me wrong. He clearly won against Kalajdzic, but it was closer than it should have been, and he didn't adjust the way we'd want to see. He didn't make the adjustments. He didn't behave the way you'd want to see him behave. That's true. But I think you'd be a little harsh on him. All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap this up. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts, your comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow 3D Boxing, 3D Boxing Blog on all forms of social media. Shout out to Junior Smile today. Great workout of you today. Gold star for you. Boxing Gems is a channel on here. Where Jandro, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Thank you, Genius Smile. What? All right. All right, y'all. I'm gonna wrap this up. Appreciate y'all. October 22nd, 2024, from Texas to the world. Thank you and God bless.